Oh.
All right. We are live with, see, I did it again. He always tells me I can't say all right, but if people will see on every single one, I say, all right, we're live.
That's
This
the beauty
is
of being
Angie.
live.
We're on though with a beautiful person, Angie, and
Thank you.
she has a story that many people don't know about, and that they need to come and to be able to hear. Because you created a nonprofit called Angie's Options. Do you want to tell people who you are and
Yes.
why you created Angie's Options?
It's actually Angie's Option, singular,
Oh.
GRM. And GRM is for grassroots movement. Since 2004, we have worked with people all over North America and in Europe. And it's a singular option because I believe that education is just critical. In fact, I think if it hadn't been for education, then I definitely would not be here today. I was at a very serious point in my life at age 38. And I knew that if something quickly didn't change, I was going to lose my life. My doctors were not able to do anything.
She's trying to correct this. Sorry, she's trying to correct this on.
I did it.
It is Angie's Option. So you
have Angie's with the plural. Angie's Option.
We tried to take off the S, and I'm like, no, that's right.
I guess I did it right.
Is correct. It's my option, Angie's Option. GRM for grassroots movement. You can go to angiesoptiongrm.org and see our nonprofit organization and the work that we do. We have a weekly podcast. We have a weekly newsletter. We do monthly webinars. We just have a unique position because we know that there are many components to wellness. There's not just one magic solution. And there also isn't a company that's going to tell you anything bad about their stuff, and everybody feels that this is the answer, this is all you need, or whatever. And I just know that for myself, there isn't one magic thing, and there are many components to wellness. And when I was taking 50 supplements just to try to stay out of the hospital, I felt so vulnerable because I didn't know what to believe. I was very stressed, of course, physically, trying to stay out of the hospital, try to live, wanting to live, and just felt that there were no answers, no direction for me. So the thing is that we just grateful for a husband who is a science guy. And when doctors were out of solutions or answers, nothing else they could provide, then he stepped into research and study and found a whole new world. You mentioned the glycobiology, or I don't know if you mentioned here, we've talked about it before, but glycobiology was one component that was gravely missing from my life. And I had no idea, how could there be something so significant and nobody knows. And so
just a little backstory. So she was very, very sick.
Yeah.
Went to lots of different doctors. No one could really figure out what's going on. Her husband decided to kind of find out for himself, did research, because like she said, he's a scientist, and realized there's this whole thing called glycobiology that talks about the sugars that your body needs to have in order for the cells to be able to work properly.
Yeah.
And that was
all we know
Huh?
is that sugar was killing us, and sugar is killing us. And we all know we've got to cut out sugar, but to discover, just to tap into a world of scientists that know this, that there are specific sugars surrounding every single cell in the human body, and they play a critical role.
Right.
And so if you have a foundation for that, then you can say, oh my gosh, well, what's the role? What is it that they do? And if you get that the role is to allow communication to take place properly, then whatever good you put into your body knows how to direct the forces, knows where to send more support over here or more support over there. So it turned out to be a critical component, but it's not the only thing, because one of the major things that we do with our nonprofit is that we vet. Because how do we as consumers know if what's written on a label is actually in the bottle? How do we know at the very least we're not just throwing our money away, or at the very most could be harming ourselves? And so we don't promote companies, we don't promote products, we simply provide exposure to education in 3 areas. How the foundation of our food has been altered, What are the ramifications of the fact that our food is not providing us what it is that our bodies need? We treat our cars better than we do our bodies. And we know, of course, you've got to have gas in your car. But how long could your car function if you only put gas in it? You know, brake fluid, oil, all the other things that our cars need in our bodies are way more complicated. But there isn't 50 things that your body needs. Like I was just grasping at straws, taking this, I need that. We all know we need to have magnesium or fish oil or good vitamins and minerals. And there are these needs. But how do we know if what product we're taking is actually benefiting us or could be harming us? And so that's one of the jobs of our nonprofit. We do that type of homework for people, and we help to direct if we're asked. If not, no problem. We simply provide exposure so that people know how to get that education and can make a decision they feel is best for themselves based on education, not marketing only. And sometimes it's really seriously blatant marketing deception that we are just...
for sure, especially in the natural world, especially in the food industry, especially in, I mean, just in marketing in general. There's so much disinformation. Now, we keep on having a vibration in our house, and so I'm like, are we having an earthquake? Are you feeling it? Are you hearing that?
Not here. No.
I think it's Camp Williams.
Camp Williams just must be blowing up stuff, because like every minute or so, it's just, and the house is literally, you feel the vibration. I'm like,
yep.
Holy cow, we're on live, and there's an earthquake happening or something. So I want to look at her phone because she has an earthquake app on it to see if...
No, I think it's Camp Williams. But you know, Angie, what I love about your thing though is that your nonprofit is all about education,
helping people know.
And one thing you talked about is so true, is the marketing. And we have noticed with this last couple of years, the marketing makes you determine what is good and what's not good. And if you change that marketing, then you have a totally different perspective of what's going on, right?
And it's just who convinces you that what you're saying, they're saying is true.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be
true.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It means that it's actually right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about you, is that you're, you know, like you've created this nonprofit to actually educate people on the...
And we're really dedicated. Since 2004, our whole mission, our whole work, as we worked with countless thousands of people, is to just we're dedicated, I'll say, to just exposing hidden truths in the science of health. Because if we could just provide some exposure to it, because there's great incentive not to have any exposure to answers that could truly impact the rest of your life. There's no money to be made in a lot of that.
Right. And that's the biggest downfall, right? Is it's all about the money. The pharmaceuticals can't patent it, you know, and it's called, you know, that because they can't. The way they can make money is to have a patent.
Yeah.
And so if they can't patent it, that's why everything they have it maybe have something to do with natural, but they had to change it in order to patent it. So it's patented medicine. Yeah. And they have so much money, they can just spread that stuff. And yet the thing that they went off originally was the best thing for it. And yet no one knows about it because we don't hear about it. Right. Because we don't have billions of dollars to say, oh, hey, take this pill.
There's no incentive if no recoup of investment can come back to you.
Right. Why so they don't go, then they don't search it out. Right.
Right. Why would anybody put, yet we have put $1 million of our own money into providing exposure to this education because it was so life altering. I was so close to losing my life at 38, and I haven't been to a doctor now for 20 years. I have 22 grandchildren. Our oldest is 22. Our youngest is 22 months. And I have a whole life of living that I was able to do simply because we got exposure to education that allowed me to make a decision for my own health and wellness based on education, not marketing and the hype that is so often, connected with it, as you're saying. And I just think that, and, when you talk about some of the areas that 3 major areas we provide exposure to, is one of them is what's natural about being synthetic. You know, we just, our bodies are not designed to run and function on synthetic. How do we know
right?
when we go to purchase a good vitamin and mineral, for instance? How do we know that good vitamin and mineral really is being utilized by our body? Or at the very least, we're just throwing our money away, or at the very most, we could be harming ourselves.
Well,
So
I usually tell people, you know, we love Costco. Costco takes a lot of our money.
Yeah.
But if you're going to buy your nutritional stuff there, that's probably not the best place, because it's cheap,
Mm-hmm.
So,
but how do you know how to do it? Like a good fish oil. We know we need good fish oil, but do you know that most companies know that people are looking for molecularly distilled, good molecularly distilled fish oil, but they don't by law have to tell us that they use emulsifiers. Because if they don't use emulsifiers, then that fish oil that they are putting through those molecular distillation machines, it mucks up the machine. And those are very, very expensive machines. So they use emulsifiers to clean that so it doesn't muck up their expensive machines. And by law, they don't have to tell us that they've done that. So if you take that fish oil and put it in a styrofoam cup, for instance, and leave it there for a little bit, it's going to eat a hole right through that styrofoam, because it is full of emulsifiers. We want fish oil. We need a good fish oil, vitamin D3, whatever things that we are lacking and not getting enough of. If you're not out in the sun or whatever enough, you're lacking here. But how do you know that the fish oil you're eating is something that's going to be efficacious for you and helpful to you versus harmful? And I have to believe that all of the things that I was taking, 50 supplements from my nutritionist that cost me $400 a month just for the advice from her, not all, thousands of dollars went out our door. I'm not saying every month thousands of dollars, but many, many hundreds of dollars on supplements went out the door every single month. How did I know? I did the best I could. We look at the price. Oh, well, this is, $38.95. Okay, this one's $14.95. And well, I took the medium price one. This one's too expensive. This is too cheap. It must not be good. And I took the medium. And I'm taking 50 supplements. When my husband started to study and research, only 3 of those 50 things were actually utilized by my body and helpful. So we feel the reason why we're dedicated and we are compelled is to provide exposure to education so that people can then have a better option for deciphering for themselves what they feel might be beneficial and helpful. And honestly, we don't need 50 things. I think 5 things are critical, 5 things that I have incorporated into my diet. Sugars, specific sugars, first and foremost.
So what are you saying? Like, are you saying like the sugars, like you're saying from like the foods and stuff like that? Or are you saying
there are foods,
supplements?
Some people can just change their diet and simply get enough. But these sugars that are surrounding every single cell in the human body, they are gravely missing from our food today. So it's difficult to get enough. However, if you're pretty healthy, you might be able to just change your diet and get enough. But for me, I was so compromised, so sick, at death's door, that no matter how much good food I ate, I could not eat a wheelbarrow full of one thing to get enough of this particular type of nutrition. So I had to supplement. But then when you go to try to supplement, you get, again, the marketing deception and hype and blatant deception with that hype. So you need to be directed to be able to know what's going to be helpful to you and what's not. So getting the right types of sugars that surround the cells is critical. Pre and probiotics, critical. The gut health is so important. Getting a good endocrine support, a good vitamin and mineral, and a good fish oil. I mean, basically, those are the few things that altered the course of my life. And you'll know if you're not doing well because your body leaves clues. How are you sleeping? How's your bone health? How are your bowels? We don't even talk about pooping in this country enough. And yet,
well, this is the second time it's come up today already.
Yeah. Well, people at your conference, they're like
minded. Lots of poop.
And the sad part is that when we participate by speaking or having a booth, I'm so bummed I can't get out and get around as much, So I love being around like-minded people and seeing the passion and the desire to really bring forth what they know has helped and impacted their lives. And it's not that every single thing that we're going to see at the conference is something we all need to put into our life, but it gives you an option for exposure. And you may have a unique situation that just that thing you're exposed to makes a big difference. And that's what I found in my own life. If it hadn't been for a husband who could do that research and the hard stuff, he wrote a book, There's an Elephant in the Room, Exposing Hidden Truths in the Science of Health. And even though it was published several years back, it's still being sold. We still get royalties every month. And it encourages me because that means people are reading it and sharing it. And that is the power of education. And then it gives us the option to say, hey, this is, and there's not one component to wellness. We've got the physical. We all want to be physically well. That's a huge thing, but we miss the emotional, the social, mental, spiritual. These are all components that should be addressed. And I know at your conference, we're going to get all of these components addressed. And when I help people and direct them to help them get sugars, the right kind of sugars into their diet, if they're not addressing their emotional component or their spiritual component or what's going on in their social life, if they refuse to address these things, sometimes it's not enough to get on top of whatever's been brewing for a long time. Our body manifests dis-ease for a good reason. And we got to address all of those things. So,
well, this is just another example of the type and the caliber of things that we're going to have at the conference. Her husband's going to be speaking. He's going to be doing one of our lunch and learns.
He'd be here right now, but he's teaching. So
they have a booth to answer a lot of questions. They are going to have their book for sale. But like she said, their whole thing is just about educating, talking to people, explaining, letting people know of options. And that is what our conference is trying to do. What you're saying is exactly what we're trying to do. And that is share with people or give people the opportunity that they can come and learn so that they can and then turn around and say, what can I do to make myself healthier? And not put it on the doctor and not put it on the insurance company and not put it on all these other people, but take personal responsibility for their health, because that's what we have to have. I mean, if COVID taught us nothing, it's you have to take your own personal responsibility, because there was so much garbage that was misinformation or whatever's just, propaganda, whatever.
Well, and you didn't know what was true or not.
Yeah. And that's the thing is now no one knows what to believe on the this COVID was the worst thing for medicine, because now no one trusts it. No one has a clue because no one knows what to believe anymore.
We grew up believing that we just abdicate our our health to somebody else. Something goes wrong. Oh, we got this doctor to fix it or that person to fix it or whatever. And we never thought, hey, it's my life, my body. I'm in it every day. I probably know it pretty well if I listen to the body clues. Take responsibility. But it's not that I'm saying or think or feel that there isn't a need for our medical professionals. There certainly is, and there's good reason why we live where we have expertise that
we're the top country in acute care. Like if you're in a severe car accident, you get arm decapitated somewhere.
Or shot.
You want to have that done here in America. But we rank 50th in all the world, 73rd, which is horrible. And yet we spend more money, we take more drugs. I think we take more than half of all the drugs in the United States compared to the rest of the world. Yeah,
you're better off living in Sri Lanka or Bosnia or somewhere else. I mean, war might kill you. That would be bad. But as far as keeping your health, it's better to live in a lot of other countries, and we don't know that. And so it's really good. We've put on international conferences. We know what it takes. Our heart goes out to you. We thank you. We're praying for you because we know
thank you, because we need to be buoyed up.
Even since we've been on here, Sydney had said that it's awesome and she can't wait for the health show. And then Don, he said the book is very well written, so you're going to have that there too. There's a lot of people that are big fans of you. So and share this video, because these people can actually change so many people's lives. People just need to come and listen to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come and listen.
Well, it's a joy.
We have another one coming up here pretty quick, but they have a discount code. it is, what's their discount code?
It's
GRM 30.
GRM30, and that gets you into the 2-day live event for only $30, which is a
She
steal.
might have some extra free tickets too. So just if you
There's only 10 free tickets available. Most of them may be gone, but if you want a free ticket, then just send us support at Angie's Option, grm.org, and we'll get you a free ticket if we have any left. So first come, first serve there. Otherwise, GRM30 is an awesome discount for this incredible conference. So we'll look.
Oh, Fran, she says lovely couple, and then Kelsey says we will be there. So.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate Kelsey wanting to be there. So thanks so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate you being at our conference and being part of not just speaking, but having a booth there to help educate the public. So thanks so much.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thanks so
See you
much.
later.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.